welcome back. If you guys are new here, hello, my name is Sarah and I like to make YouTube videos. So if you're not new here, you might notice that we're at a slightly different angle than normal. And that is because today I am going to be trying out a different kind of video for you guys. I've been really in the mood to try something new, and last week we did a beauty hack, which was definitely new for me, and this week we're gonna do some hair. So for today's video, I am going to show you guys something that I've been doing with my hair quite a lot lately. Pretty much, honestly, almost every day ever since I got back to school, which isn't actually that long ago, but if you're doing it 5 days a week, it's a lot. So basically, in the mornings, I don't really give myself a whole lot of time to get ready because I prefer to sleep in, and I also have to wake up at 6:30 anyways if I want to be on time. So if you are like that and you don't have a lot of time in the morning, then this is a super quick and easy hairstyle that you can do. It takes me honestly 5 minutes or less, and there's definitely some major points about this hair look that I think will sell you on trying it out yourself. The first one being, of course, that it can take you 5 minutes or less. It usually does take me less just because I do it so often. If you're new to it, it might take you the full 5 minutes, but it's really quick and super easy. And the second point being, it kind of looks to other people, I hope, that you actually tried or that you had more time in the morning than you actually did to make yourself look presentable. At least that's what I kind of hope other people are seeing when I do this hairstyle. And lastly, of course, this hairstyle is something that you can definitely do on first day, second day, third day, fourth day, whatever day you want, hair day. Basically, if your hair is clean or if it's really dirty, this look is pretty much gonna look good no matter what. So I'm done yelling at you guys. I'm done throwing information at you that you don't need, and let's just get right into this hairstyle. Alright, so if you part your hair in the middle, this is the time when you're going to want to give it a side part. This is just because we're going to be taking a rather large chunk of hair from this large side of the part in your hair, and so if you already part your hair to the side, then you are good to go. Alright, so the first thing that I like to do is I take a little comb, and it has this very pointy tip at the end here. So what I like to do is sort of place it around a little bit further back in the middle of my head, starting at the part, and then just draw a line all the way down a little bit behind your ear, creating a nice even section. And there you go, you've got the section that you're gonna need for the first part of this hairstyle. After that, you're just going to want to grab a hair tie and tie back the rest of your hair just for the time being so it doesn't get in the way when we're focusing on this part right here. Alright, so if you are like me and you don't brush your hair on a regular basis, this is the time when you're going to want to bring out a hairbrush, because you're going to want to brush this chunk of hair because we are going to be braiding it, and I find it is kind of difficult and very easy to create knots if you haven't brushed your hair beforehand when you're braiding it. Personally, I will be leaving the rest of my hair unbrushed just because of the way that it is naturally. It gets really fuzzy and just poofy and not cute in my opinion if I brush the rest of it. If you brush your hair on a regular basis, if you're like a normal human being, then you might have wanted to brush your hair beforehand, but I personally did not. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is to take a rather small chunk from the front section closest to your part from the chunk that we've just created, and you're going to want to split that into 3 equal sections. So I will just quickly mention before we get into it, I am going to be doing a Dutch braid. So if you already know how to do a Dutch braid, then this will be kind of repetitive if you already know how, but if you don't, then this is the part where you're going to want to pay attention. So you're going to want to start by taking the section right here closest to your part, and you're going to bring it underneath the middle section. Now you're going to want to take the section over here, which is furthest from your part, and then you're going to want to bring that underneath your new middle section. Now moving back to the piece we started with that is closest to your part, you're going to want to take some hair from directly behind it and create a larger section, and then bring that piece underneath the middle. Moving back to the piece over here that is furthest from the part, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but taking the hair from the spot right beside it, creating a larger piece and bringing that underneath the middle. And you're basically just going to keep adding hair to your sections on either side and bringing it underneath the middle piece until you have no more hair to add to your braid. Okay, so keep in mind when you're making this braid to constantly be pulling rather tightly every time you bring the hair underneath, because you don't want to have a loose braid at this point. So once you've brought all the hair in your section into the braid, you're just going to continue the Dutch braid with the same process of bringing each side piece underneath the middle piece until you've completed the braid all the way to the ends of your hair. I personally am going to finish my braid off a little bit early because I do plan on letting the rest of it loose when I'm done. So at this point you can just sort of secure the end of your braid with a hair tie. Alright, so now you can take out the rest of your hair that you had pulled off to the side in the beginning, and all we're going to do at this point is just bring everything together into one big ponytail. The only thing you really want to keep in mind when you're bringing all your hair into the ponytail is to make sure that your braid here is always going to be on the outside of the ponytail, because this is the part of the ponytail that you want everyone to see. So of course this is the point where you want to decide if you're going to keep the braid that goes out through the ponytail in your ponytail or if you want to let it go free. I personally am going to take out the tiny elastic and just let my braid fall loose. If you don't want to do that, you can definitely keep it in for a more fancy look. So we only have a couple steps left for this hairstyle, and the one that I think is the most important in making the braid stand out the most, as much as you possibly can, is you're going to start at your hair tie where your braid kind of goes through the hair tie, if you know what I mean. And you're going to start by gently pulling at the sides of your braid and just loosening it up, making it bigger and fluffier, making it basically look like you have more hair in your braid than you actually do, and just making it super big and fluffy. So one of the reasons why I mentioned earlier to always be pulling very tightly when you're creating your braid is because if you don't have a very tight braid to begin with, the process of pulling it apart and making it look a lot fluffier will actually be kind of difficult because it will already be very, very loose. Of course, if it is your first time doing a Dutch braid or you're just very new to the process, I found even the first couple times that I personally did a Dutch braid, it is very, very difficult to create that very, very tight braid to begin with. But with practice, I promise you it gets it becomes a second nature to create it in that way. So the last step for this look is going to be hiding our hair tie. So all you want to do is you're going to grab a small section of hair from underneath your ponytail, just about this big. You really don't need a whole lot of hair, and then we're just going to start by wrapping it around the base of the hair tie and continuing to wrap it around as many times as you can. I can probably do about 2 to 3 times, and then once you get to the back of the ponytail where you started, you're just gonna bobby pin that down underneath the braid and underneath the ponytail so that it is hidden from your view. So one last thing that I like to do personally that is not really considered a step in this hair look is I like to just kind of pull out my little baby hairs around the ear area, because I find it looks a little bit less, I don't want to say it looks a little bit less put together, but I just prefer the kind of messiness of having the little baby hair sticking out by my ears. This is totally a personal thing. If you like to have that sleek pulled back look, then you can completely just leave it as is, but this is something that I like to do. So that is it, you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This is my quick and relatively easy hairstyle that you guys can do in 5 minutes or less. So like I said earlier, this hairstyle is definitely something that I do in the mornings when I'm going to school and I don't have a whole lot of time to get ready in the mornings. So do try to imagine this hairstyle with a little bit less makeup and more of a casual outfit. It's definitely not going to look like this every single day, but I mean, you could totally do this hairstyle if you want to look glam as well. It's really just up to you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me some comments down below for some suggestions or just anything else. I really do love chatting with you guys in the comments section. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye! There goes a sign, there goes a sign.